All right, guys, got a little bit of a crack and press project here. Feeling a little under the weather today, but I just couldn't wait to get this guy open. I just got in the mail. It's a PGX 8.0 Swamp Things 37, first appearance of John Constantine. And I saw this auction for best offer, and I really didn't see anything overt wrong with the comic. I mean, I could see from one of the pictures that it had a small crease right there, or a small bend, I should say. Creases are color breaking. So a small bend right there, and to me, that's a clear giveaway that it hasn't been pressed before, and I didn't see anything else wrong with it. So I'm really hoping that I'm not going to get it open and it's going to have like a detached cover or a missing page or something like that. So we'll see. So I got myself here my trusty chisel, and I'm going to get to work on one of these corners. Actually, I think what I'll do, see, it's been a little bit since I opened a PGX case. I got to find that little crease. I'm actually going to improvise a hammer. Easy enough. So just that, remember, look where I did that. I did that up here, not down here. So I got that in there. And you guys remember I told you once upon a time that PGXs were like the easiest ones to open. Look at that. Boop. Ta-da! So easy peasy. Those things come apart like nothing else. Didn't even really need the pliers except for my improvised hammer. So the other good thing about this is they are like super free floating in here. You do not have as much concern about slicing these things open. So I'm going to get to work cutting this open and make sure I get an angle without you staring at the top of my head. So I saw this one, I've been watching this one for a while, and I saw it was heating up again with some rumors about John Constantine future role. Ironically, that's one of my dad's favorite movies. I really like Keanu Reeves in that role, and I thought that was a good movie for its time. So for us, it's a good throwback to a movie we both enjoy. And also I remember watching Swamp Thing on Sci-Fi or whatever station that was back in the day. So let's see if I think I should have it out. Look at that. Easy enough. Okay. Boop. Okay. There you go. And I am going to, let's see if I can get this guy out of here. Got to think these is like my prizes, so I always keep these tags so I remember what grade they were. Ta-da! So I'll keep that guy around, and when I get this back, I'll see how well I did on my grading. But let me throw some gloves on. Again, excuse me for my hoarseness. Feeling a little under the weather. Thankfully, for those of you that know, I have a day job. I run a laboratory, do biomedical research, and I was able to test myself. I know I didn't have COVID, so that's a good thing. All right, so let's take a look at this now that I have it out of there. Okay, so I see definitely that bend. Got a couple spine ticks. One right there. One right there. Let's flip it over. Let's see what we got on the back. Oh, I don't know. Got some, I mean, yeah, that bend I think goes almost all the way through. And maybe, what is that? Like maybe a color breaking spine tick right there? Let's see if I can catch it right there. You see it? Not that bad. Yeah, there's a couple other spine ticks down here, but I mean, nothing severe. So let's go through this and hope we don't find anything horrible. Because I'm not seeing, you know, I don't exactly look highly upon PGX as a grading company, but I'm not seeing right now what the cause for an 8.0 was on this. The only time I'd also expect that in like a perfect exterior. So no, you know, center fold's intact, staples are good. It's a little misaligned, but that's not horrible, you know? Yeah, I'm not seeing it. All right, guys. Well, we will put this into the press. I'll do some light cleaning on this, just pretty much wiping it down. I mean, there's not really much to clean on that cover. And I don't know. I was gonna look at this. Yeah, it looks fine. I was thinking for a second maybe there was something odd with that staple, like maybe somebody did a staple replacement to it, but I'm not seeing that either. I think it's just misaligned a little bit. All right, well, I'm going to add that to the pressing stack, and I'm going to get working on it. It's going to go on the next mission. I'll take some after photos after we get this crease out. That'll definitely come out easy peasy. And so will these the other marks on here. So, all right, looking good. Thank you, guys. Okay, we are back after a very, very long break. This video has been, I guess, a few months in the making now. If you remember when I started this project with cracking and trying to get a bump on this book, I was feeling a little under the weather. And at that time, I had tested negative for COVID. Well, later that week, I ended up testing positive for COVID. So I was down and out for a few weeks. Thankfully, I think in comparison to a lot of people, I had relatively mild illness and recovered fully after about a month or so, but definitely was feeling better after a week or so. So even those of us in the health field can make mistakes and get sick, but thankfully we're moving past that, and we have some results that I wanted to share with you from this pressing project. Also, in the meantime, we had Christmas that passed, so that kind of went from November when I started this video to now. And in the meantime, I got a new phone, so the little upgraded camera and microphone should help out with some of these videos. So let's talk about our much anticipated results. If you remember, there were this was a PGX 8.0 that I didn't really see anything overt wrong with it. There were some bends that I addressed, and a few spine ticks. So are you ready for the grade reveal? Okay, 3, 2, 1, bam. CGC 9.2 with white pages. So the only thing that was remaining on the grader notes on this one was a bend that went through the entire book. And that bend was the one that we saw up in the top right corner over here. So I in addressing that, had used a tack iron, which I did kind of off screen. I did that in between the first and second press. So I have some video of me humidifying it and addressing that. But then after the first press, I noticed that it was still showing on there. So I went ahead and used the tack iron. I'll link that in a different video so you can see how to use that. But use the tack iron to fix the dent, or no, I'm sorry, the bend that was on this edge that went through the book. I don't think you can see it. There's just a faint line that remains right there where that bend went all the way through. So what I probably should have done, this might have had a little more room to go. I probably should have used the tack iron on every single page all the way through the entire book and gave it one more press. But that would have taken a lot of time, and I didn't think at the time that that would have impacted it as significantly. So the major things in here, as you remember, there were a couple spine ticks and bends that were here. There's a bend on the back. There was a couple bends on the edges up here. All of those got addressed by the press and any kind of spot work with the tack iron. So there we go, 9.2 from an 8.0. Your results may vary, I'll say that, but I'm going to do a separate video on kind of looking for books that are ideal for grade bumps. So it's kind of hard with things like CBCS and PGX to really know how accurate those are in comparison to CGC. CBCS is I found is pretty reliable, but if you compare, some people have done the same grade, resubmitted the same books to CBCS and CGC, and they vary all over the place. Some are higher, some are lower, some are the same, some are 9.8s where others were 9.2s. So it could go either way, but they do a really good job of documenting everything in grader notes, which is a little bit more of an unknown with PGX. You don't have those grader notes. So this one, I had to go off of eye. Basically, I didn't see anything. I was worried about color touch. I was worried about a detached centerfold or something like that. But it turned out that this was just a book that was an ideal candidate for a press and a grade bump from it. So basically an 8.0 that I got, I think, for around $200 to CGC 9.2 with a little bit of elbow grease and work with the press. And basically I got an 8.0 for less than you could get a raw at that time. So I haven't watched current market prices, but I think this is still a book to have in the collection and one that's heading on the up and up. So there you go. I'll follow up again with a video on what to look for in books to bump. All right, sounds good.